Here in this video, I want to look at another example of using our law of sines. And if we recall, for the law of sines, we have side A over the sine of angle A, side B over the sine of angle B, and side C over the sine of angle C. So for this example, we're given that angle B is equal to 40 degrees, angle C is equal to 105 degrees, and side C is equal to 20. And we want to solve for the rest of the triangle. So first of all, we want to draw a sketch of our triangle. And once again, it doesn't have to be to scale. We just want to use it as a reference. So here if we have A, B, and C, then that means this would be little a, this is little b, and this would be little c. So now we can label, we have angle B is equal to 40 degrees, angle C is 105 degrees, and then side C is equal to 20. So what do we have here? Well, if we think about our triangle, in this case, we have this angle, and this side. So here what we have is the angle side case, okay? If you remember in the previous video, we had what was called angle side angle, but in this case we have angle side. So here we want to solve for the remaining pieces. Well, because we have two angles, we can easily find the other remaining angle. So if we're looking for angle A, then we can certainly just say that's going to be equal to 180 degrees minus the other two angles, because they all have to add up on, all three have to add up to 180 degrees. So therefore we have minus the 105 and minus the 40 degrees. So if you want to use your calculator, we would just simply type in 180 minus 105 minus 40, and we get an angle of 35 degrees. So that means A is 35 degrees. Okay, then next we want to figure out what do we want to solve for. Well, we were given angle C and side C. So here are the two pieces that are given that we know this angle and we know the side opposite of it. So if we want to find side A, then that means we would have to take A over the sine of the 35-degree angle that we just found, and then that would be equal to 20 over the sine of 105. And that's our only option there, because the angle C and side C is the only one that we have both pieces. So you have to have one where you have the angle, given angle, and the side opposite. So there we have our sine of 105 for the angle, and then the 20 for the opposite side. So once again, we know three of the pieces, and we can now solve for A by simply multiplying both sides of the equation by the sine of 35 degrees. And once we do that, on the left, they're going to cancel out. We'll be left with little a, and here we have 20 divided by the sine of 105. So we could go to the calculator, type in 20 divided by the sine of 105, and we can hit enter. And then we need to multiply that by the sine of the 35 degrees. So we would simply hit times, and notice it brings down that last answer, so it's going to be more accurate. So that's multiplied by the sine of our 35-degree angle. And we end up with 11 point, and we'll go to two places again. So we'll get 11.88. So over here we have 11.88. And now the only thing we have left to solve for is side B. So that would be b over the sine of the angle opposite, which is the 40 degrees. So that would be b over the sine of 40 degrees. And once again, we can use the same 20 over sine of 105. So that'd be 20 over the sine of 105 degrees. And just like before, if we want to get b by itself, we have to multiply both sides of the equation by the sine of 40 degrees. And by doing so, the sine of 40 on the left is going to cancel out. So we have b is equal to 20 over the sine of 105 multiplied by the sine of 40 degrees. So once again, if we go to the calculator, we would take 20 divided by the sine of 105. And then we would simply multiply that by the sine of our 40 degrees. And we get 13.31. So there we have found the remaining sides of our triangle. Okay, and again, this example was looking at what happens if we have angle, angle, side, and the previous video was angle, side, angle. And the next video that we're going to look at will cover the third case, which is the one that I told you was going to be angle, side, side, and that's the one that we have several possibilities, and we'll visit that in the next video.